Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Early Games Post Game Show, Late Games Pre-Game Show. It's been a really we've already had the early games have already been played in Week 14 of the NFL. We've had some games that wouldn't have been close and some that were close. And I'll give you all the scores in just a moment. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday trivia question. It's a New Orleans Saints trivia question, actually, because I'll do a Browns one tomorrow for the Monday night game. How many times has Drew Brees passed for over 5,000 yards in a season? I'm going to have the answer later in the podcast. Well, it's Week 14 of the NFL season, and we've had a lot of great early game matchups for you today, and the Browns will play the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football tomorrow night at First Energy Stadium. And right now, I'm going to give you the scores from all the early games today. First, I'm going to go back to the game from Thursday night. The Rams beat the Patriots 24-3 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, near LA. New England did not look good in this game at all, and they only had one field goal, to say the least. And the Rams had control of this game from the get-go. And Jared Goff, Cam Akers, and Cooper Kupp all got the game balls for that one. But to say the least, New England just did not look good in that game, and they struggled. And the Rams had control of this game from the get-go. And they took advantage of all the mistakes the Patriots made in this game. And they just, from their first touchdown, they scored. They were in control from it. They were up 7-0 in the first quarter. And then it was 10-0 at the end of the first because they kicked a field goal. Then in the second quarter, the Rams scored their second touchdown. Cam Newton's pass that was intended for Devontae Harris got intercepted by Young at the LA Rams 21 yard line. Young took it for the 79-yard touchdown. The extra point was good, and it was 17-0. Rams. And then Nate Folk at the 29-yard field goal because they got as far as the 57-yard line, the 47-yard line, and then it was 17-3 because it was good. And the final touchdown of the game for the Rams came in the third quarter, and it was 24-3. In the fourth quarter, it was seesaw punts back and forth and a few turnover on downs, but nevertheless, the Rams win 24-3. The Tennessee Titans were all over the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game wasn't even close. The Titans beat them 31-10 on Everbank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. And Ryan Tannehill gets the game ball for that one. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and A.J. Brown. So this was one of those games where Tennessee was in control from the get-go, and they never looked back in this one. So, and and this was just one of those games where Tennessee just never looked back, and Jacksonville just did not look good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14 today at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. And Minnesota had a chance in this one, but they just could not get over the hurdle. And I got to give the game balls to Tom Brady, Ronald Jones, hold on, and Scott Miller. I have to give him to him. So they got the game balls today, and this was just one of those games where Minnesota they had chances, but they just could not. They had the early lead, and things just didn't go their way, and they had chances, but Tampa Bay took advantage of every mistake Minnesota made in this game. So, nevertheless, Tampa Bay wins in this one today, 26-14. The Kansas City Chiefs in the final seconds beat the Miami Dolphins 33-27 at Arrowhead Stadium and at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Excuse me. Excuse me. Patrick Mahomes had another 300-yard day, 393 to be exact. 24 of 30 carries and attempts, and I think one touchdown. I'll check it for you in a minute. But this was another one of those games where KC just dominated, and excuse me. Yeah. Where the Chiefs just dominated this game. Yeah. He had 24 of 30 carries and attempts, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. But and so to Tyreek Hill, 1 carry, 32 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce, 8 receptions, 136 yards, 1 touchdown. But this was one of those games, and Miami led early in this game. They were 7-0 after the first quarter because they scored a touchdown. And then and it was a pass rush left Matt Geskey for 7 yards, a 7-yard score. And the extra point was good. And then they they kicked a field goal in the second quarter, and it was 10. They led 10-0. Sanders' field goal was good. And then that's what KC just took over after that. But Miami did come back and score 2 more touchdowns in the fourth, and 1 more field goal, but that was as close as they got. And so nevertheless, the Chiefs win 33-27. But this was a very one of those games that was complex, and this was just one of those games where Miami just could not get over the hurdle. So, the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers at Bank of America Stadium 32-27. This was a game I was surprised. I thought Carolina would have it right now and would have had this one, but they got it. Denver won this thing in the end, and I have to give the game balls to Drew Lock, 21 of 27 carries and attempts, 280 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Melvin Gordon, 13 carries, 68 yards, no touchdowns, and KJ Hamler, 2 receptions, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. This game, I just felt that I thought Carolina would get the win in this one, but Denver scored first, and it was 6-0 because the extra point was missed. It was no good, but it was a 83-yard touchdown by David Spencer. And then it was 6-0. That was at the end of the first quarter. The second quarter, the Carolina Panthers did score their first touchdown. It was 7-6. Davis up the middle for 3 yards, and the extra point was good. And then Denver came back and went up 13-7, but the extra point was no good. And it was Nate Bennett with a 2-yard score. And it was 13-7 at the break, excuse me. Then in the third quarter, the Denver Broncos scored their second touchdown of the game. Drew Lock to KJ Hamler for the 37-yard touchdown. Marcus's extra point was no good. And then Carolina got as far as the Denver 48, and they had to settle for a field goal. It was and Slayer's 35-yard field goal was good. It was 19-10. Then Denver scored another touchdown. Drew Lock to Tyrone Patrick, or to Tim Patrick for the 2-yard touchdown. A 2-point conversion attempt was incomplete. That was 25-10. It failed, and that was at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth, Carolina scored another touchdown, and it was 25-17. Teddy Bridgewater up the middle for 7 yards. The extra point is good. And a 7-yard touchdown. And Carolina kicked a field goal. Denver had the punt, went 3 and out. And Sly, 26-yard field goal is good. Center, and Jensen's field goal was good. And it was 25-20. Then Denver scored another touchdown. Drew Lock's pass left to KJ Hamler for deep left to KJ Hamler for the 49-yard touchdown. McManus's extra point is good. It was 32-20. But Carolina did score one more touchdown. Mac Davis up the middle for 10 yards for the 10-yard touchdown. The extra point's good by Sly, but Denver gets the win, 32-27. So basically, it was just not a good day for Carolina, but they hung in there though, but couldn't get over the hurdle. The Chicago Bears all over the Houston Texans, 36-7. The Bears just had the control of this game from the get-go. Houston never stood a chance. All they had was one touchdown in this game today. The Arizona Cardinals are all over the New York Giants, 26-7 at MetLife Stadium in New York, and the Giants just never stood a chance. Arizona had control of this game from the get-go, and they never looked back, and the Cardinals get the win. Really wasn't much to talk about in that game today. The Dallas Cowboys manhandled the Cincinnati Bengals 30-7 at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, and Andy Dalton did quite well in his first time back in his return to Cincinnati. Right now, I'm going to talk about the late games. Las Vegas is beating Indianapolis 14-10 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas with 9:53 to go in the second quarter. Seattle's beating the Jets 17-3 at CenturyLink Field in Seattle with 10:18 to go in the fourth. Another game I feel is going to be a good one. Green Bay and Detroit. Green Bay is beating Detroit 14-11. And Detroit's favored to win, though, but I think Green Bay will get the win because Green Bay is going to want to bounce back from last week. The Los Angeles and Atlanta are tied at 7, 12:51 to go in the second. San Francisco up on Washington 7-0. 47 seconds left in the first. And the Eagles playing the Saints 7-0 Eagles. 12:55 left in the second. And Pittsburgh and Buffalo tonight. That's going to be awesome. And I'm going with Josh Allen on that one because I think the Bills are going to get the win. And Browns and Ravens tomorrow. See you later. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.